Hello, everyone, and welcome back to yet another political episode on North Star State, in the North Star politics. We have a very sad story here in the state of Minnesota, where this channel is based in. Governor Al Q has died, sadly, at 99. Unlike the senator who, I think his name was Beckley, who made it to 100. Sadly, Al Q failed to make it to 100. Um, he, however, has set the record for being the most oldest Minnesota governor in Minnesota to date. So very sad and breaking news in Minnesota. Here, Minnesota politicians are mourning, both from the DFL and from the Republican Party, are mourning Al Q. Al Q was a man who actually was in the political center. He, although was considered more right wing, he was supported Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, Gerald Ford. He was seen more as a negotiator with the DFL, the opposing political party. That said, he had a great approval rating in Minneapolis and St. Paul, generally liberal areas, and uh, and chose by his own will not to seek a second term as Minnesota governor. So it is heartbreaking to see this man who really stood up for unity in the state of Minnesota has sadly passed away here. Born on September 18th. In September 18th of 2023, Governor Quie would have made it to 100 years old. And we as Minnesotans, we would be celebrating that. But unfortunately, Al Quie's adventure has came to an end because of his old age. You'll see he passed away in his old home. I believe it was his hospital, or they would have made a lot of news about it. I'm guessing he passed away in his home in Wayzata. But yeah. But first off, who is Al Q? And what's the big deal? Well, Al Q was a part of the U.S. House of Representatives and part of Minnesota's first congressional district. Minnesota's first congressional district. I know my districts in Minnesota. That is the South. Okay, this area generally is a swing area. However, it has tilted more to the right recently. Reasons being, okay, there's a lot of farmers are leaving the Democratic Party because of platform change. That is because it's getting more conservative. Although, yeah, you get big cities like Rochester and Winona and Mankato and Austin and Alberley. You get those big cities, those Democrat voting cities, making Minnesota's first congressional district a more let's see here, a more tossed up. However, thanks to more farmland, more areas, small town communities going Republican, this seat is pretty much almost safe Republican. It's more put into the likely Republican area. Republicans won this area by over 5 points twice in a special election in 2022. When it came to that. So yes, Al Q served in this district for a very long time, from 1958 here all the way to 1976. You'll see Al Q was undefeated in his whole electoral history. Here, he managed to get in by a special election. August H. Andresen must have died or something. Anyways, he decided to quit. I don't know if he died in midway, but he decided he couldn't continue serving in the year of 1958 as congressman of Minnesota's first congressional district. Therefore, an election was held, and Al Q managed to win by just less than a point here. And from then, you'll see Quie gets reelected by high margins, going from 60%, 65%, etc. His biggest win being in 1972, the Republican landslide. That said, Minnesota voted for Richard Nixon by over 5 points, I believe. And Al Quayle won 70% of the popular vote in the area. And southern Minnesota was generally somewhat more democratic. I mean, to a point, because you get Rochester in that time, and Rochester in Olmsted County is a huge Republican stronghold. Of course, it's not anymore, but back then it was considered to be one of the biggest GOP strongholds in in urban areas. But now we're going to focus our attention to the 1978 gubernatorial election, where we will see Congressman Al Quayle's run for governor. You'll see he managed to kick out the popular governor, Rudy Perpich. Rudy Perpich is the only Minnesota governor to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. He's pulling a Grover Cleveland, and very well so. He is the 34th and 36th governor of Minnesota. I want to believe he managed to. Yes, he was defeated in 1978. A big shocker. Al Quayle here managed to win a lot of managed to win the Twin Cities. Once again, the GOP stronghold of Rochester, Minnesota, managed to boost his chances, and also winning Minneapolis and St. Paul helped him accomplish that. The only gains that Perpich managed to gain was farmland in the north. Liberal farmers from St. Louis County, these areas over here, and you'll also get areas like these counties here. They have no cities at all. They're just farmers, and they like the Democrat Party here. Jackson County's going for Perpich. You get Mahnomen County for Perpich. Clearwater County, Red Lake County. Yes, then again, you get, and even today, Morrison County, which today is a GOP stronghold, 70% for Republicans today. But back then, oh yeah, it was pretty liberal. Once again, farmers in the DFL, Democratic Farmer Labor, specifically aimed to support farmers and laborers in Minnesota. So you'll see, yes, Perpich, mainly did very well in rural areas, while Quayle did very well in suburban areas. So that is interesting here. Interesting enough, 52% to 45%. But don't feel bad for Rudy Perpich, okay? Do not feel bad for him, because he would win again, defeating, he won a landslide for some reason. I mean, okay, if people like him, I think he won a landslide because Perpich, I should say, Quayle refused to run. Didn't want to run. So, Quayle is gone. We might as well vote for Perpich again. So, yeah, Perpich destroyed Wheelock Whitney Jr. Here. Perpich, are you still alive? He did die. Okay, 67. That's a young age. I don't know what happened. He died in Minnetonka. Yes. I'm sure that made the news. Of course, I was not alive in 1995, just to clarify. So, yeah, there's nothing much to say. This is the only statewide election Al Quayle ran in. Yeah, he is labeled an independent Republican. This new title is what managed to get the Twin Cities to go in his name. Anyway, what do you guys think about Al Quayle? Anyway, thank you all for watching. Rest in peace, Al Quayle. And I'll see you guys in the next political episode.